Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of CYMHRE Podcast, where we have meaningful conversations about mental health, personal growth and living healthier lives. I am your host Kendi and I'm your co-host Lulu, and today we are discussing a topic that many people can relate to, and that is people pleasing, why we struggle to say no. I'm really excited about this conversation because honestly, I think almost everyone has been a people pleaser at one point in their lives. Yeah. Whether it's saying yes when you wanted to say no, taking too much work, or constantly worrying about disappointing people. We've all been there. Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes this topic so important. Let's start with the basics. When people hear the phrase people pleasing, they often think it simply means being kind. Is that what it really means? No, not at all. Being kind and being a people pleaser are two different things. Yeah. Kindness comes from genuine desire to help. Yeah. People pleasing on the other hand usually comes from fear. Yeah. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, exactly. Fear of disappointing people. A people pleaser often sacrifices their own needs just to make sure everyone else is happy. Yeah, that is not kindness. Exactly. That's such an important distinction. So the issue isn't kindness, it's losing yourself in the process of trying to please everyone. Yes. Yeah. Now let's talk about where this behavior comes from. Do people just wake up one day and become people pleaser? Usually no. People pleasing often develops over time. Some people grow up believing they only receive love or praise when they behave perfectly. Yeah. Others learn that avoiding conflict keeps them emotionally safe and physically safe. Some experienced criticism or rejection and became determined never to upset anyone again. Over time, the brain starts connecting approval without safety. That's powerful. So what starts as a survival strategy can eventually become a lifelong habit. Let's talk about something many listeners might relate to. Why is saying no so difficult? Why can't we refuse? Why is it so hard to say no? Well, I'll say it's because saying no often triggers uncomfortable emotions. Exactly. You may feel guilty, you worry people think you're selfish. Yeah, sometimes you're afraid will damage your relationship. Yeah. Our brain actually wants to avoid rejection because humans are wired for connection and belonging. Okay, so saying yes feels easier in the moment. But later we often pay the price through stress, exhaustion and resentment. That's just it. I think many people have experienced that. You agree to help someone, then immediately regret it. Yes. Because your schedule is already full. Yeah. Someone comes to you, please help me with my project. And you know you do not have the time for that. Yes, you know you have other things to do. But to avoid feeling guilty and not make the person think you are selfish. Yeah. Yeah. You say yes. So you feel trapped. Yeah, somehow like as if you abandon your own self. Yeah. Just to help another person when you actually don't want to. You feel trapped because you didn't want to disappoint them. Yes, like you say, you feel trapped. And that's the cycle of people pleasing. Yeah. Temporary comfort. Exactly. Long-term emotional exhaustion. That's so true. Let's discuss the consequences. Yeah, what happens when people pleasing becomes a lifestyle? Several things happen. You become emotionally detained. You neglect your own goals. Yeah, your self-esteem becomes dependent on other people's approval. Yeah. You may struggle with anxiety because you're constantly worried about how others perceive you. And perhaps most importantly, you lose touch with your authentic self. Yeah, okay? Your true self. You spend so much time becoming who everyone else wants you to be that you forget who you really are. Yeah, that last point actually stands out. You spend so much time becoming who everyone else wants to be, what everyone expects you to be. That you forget who you are. Yeah. Like I've experienced that myself. I used to be a people pleaser. Like I always feel bad when I say no. So I found it really hard to say no, even though I badly wanted to scream no. But I couldn't do it because I will end up feeling guilty. I'll end up feeling like, oh, yeah, I should have. That's very much understandable. Yeah. So how do we begin breaking free from people pleasing? What's the first step to take? The first step is awareness. You can't change a pattern you do not recognize. Yeah, you have to recognize it. Yeah. Next, Like, remember that boundaries are healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Saying no
about
doesn't make you rude. Doesn't make you selfish. It simply means you're respecting your limits. You can even practice saying things like, I'd love to help, but I can't commit right now.
Yes.
Let me think about it before I answer.
Exactly.
I appreciate you asking, but I have to decline. Simple, respectful, and honest.
Yeah, I love that. Sometimes people think boundaries push people away. But healthy boundaries actually build healthier relationships.
Exactly. The people who genuinely care about you will learn to respect your boundaries.
Yes.
Not everyone will like your no,
Exactly.
and that's okay. You're not responsible for managing everyone's emotions.
So true. You can't control people's emotion. You can't control the action.
Yes.
You can only control your own reaction. You can control your own action.
Exactly.
So before we wrap up, what's one message you'd like every listener to remember?
I would like for every listener to remember this. Your worth is not determined by how much you do for other people. You don't have to earn love by constantly sacrificing yourself. Choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's healthy. So keep choosing yourself.
Beautifully said. Amazing. And I'll leave our listeners with this. You can be compassionate without carrying everyone's burden. You can be generous without abandoning yourself. And you can say no while still being kind to a person. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the CYMHRE Podcast. If this conversation encourages you, share it with a friend. Start a conversation and remember, you deserve relationships where your voice, your needs, and your boundaries are respected. Until next time, take care of your mental health, protect your peace, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care,
and bye
everyone.
everyone.